And Senator Hunt, you're recognized to speak.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, in this legislature, we have an opportunity because we have the most people of color in this legislature ever in the history of Nebraska. And it's been a long time coming. I think that the diversity in the legislature has never reflected the actual identities and experiences of Nebraskans. And so when people stand up and talk about how our words affect them, and how those words kind of belie and explain or give way to the kind of policies that we end up supporting, that's a really important thing to pay attention to and listen to. And I've been very impressed with the words of my colleagues, Senator Danielle Conrad. I thank you for lifting this up. Senator Conrad shared that email with me this weekend because I have not received Senator Lippincott's emails for, many, many months, maybe over a year. I think I gave him some negative feedback about an email once, and instead of having a conversation, he removed me from the list. So I hadn't received an email in a long time from him. But and it's also true that the remedy for speech you don't like is more speech, not censorship, not book banning, not firing people. It's just more speech. And it's making sure people understand the impact of that speech and that it's not harmless, especially when the people making that offensive speech or ignorant speech or bigoted speech are elevated to positions of power where they can make laws that affect people in Nebraska. When you look around this room and you see we really don't reflect the identities of most Nebraskans on average. I think, so everyone has said like very smart things, very intelligent things, and I've enjoyed listening to it. But I think when we talk about DEI, this is just the new CRT, which is the new woke, which is the new affirmative action, which is the new politically correct. And it just feels like Republicans and conservatives running out of euphemisms for the N-word, honestly. All this whining about DEI, CRT, woke, affirmative action, political correctness through my entire lifetime, it's just another attempt to put Black people and people of color in their proper place. What is it about diversity, equity, or inclusion that is so scary or harmful? And maybe you say, oh, well, it's that we don't want people to be elevated to positions of power who haven't earned it. We want everything to be merit-based. Well, look around you in the world. Look around you in this country and the people who have been raised to positions of power in this legislature. Do you think you're all here based on your merit? People who experience marginalization, whether that's economic, whether that's racial, whether that's based on gender or sexuality, whether that's based on religion. We've never had a Muslim state senator. According to my research, I think we've only had one Jewish state senator, and that was it Zerinsky? Yeah. So we have a long way to go for inclusion in here. And when people finally break through those glass ceilings and they reach positions of power and positions of representation that actually reflect the American people and the American experience, they often had to work so much harder to get to that position because there were so many steps of the way where they ran into someone like Senator Lippincott who said, this is a DEI hire. What does that even mean? It's a euphemism for Black. It's a euphemism for a person of color. Instead of talking about their merits, instead of talking about their qualifications, instead of talking about what they have done and the experiences they've had to earn that position, we dismiss it with just the phrase DEI. And it's embarrassing, it's sad, because the world is bigger than this. The world is bigger than Nebraska. The world is bigger than the white bubble that most of us here have been raised in, most of us in this body. And we have the opportunity for the first time in this legislature to learn from colleagues who are people of color, who have experienced those things. And I think that all of Nebraska is going to be
That's your
better for
time,
that
Senator.
and benefit from that. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.